Hey, what is up, everybody? Ooh, looking like the audio might be a little hot. Let me know. Turning it down a little bit. But yeah, how's everyone doing? What's up? Traveling through. Pudgy, Large Marge, Dylan, Farley. How's it going, man? Dylan said he misses that green grass. It's barely even snowed. Yeah, well, I missed the green leaves, I think. Yeah. Still have plenty of green grass around. I haven't seen much snow, but yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I might be a little buzzed. I just came down from the Fitzwater Photography 2021 Christmas party. Held it upstairs in the studio this year just to be safe. But what's up, Rick? What's up, Tony? What's up, Patrick? So I usually, when I have my Christmas party or decorate, drink Corson Donk's Christmas ale, but I haven't been able to find it anywhere yet. So drinking a little bit of Mad Elf, which is Mad Elf's Christmas Ale is cherries and honey, which I really like. It's a little strong with 11%, but it's not super spicy and it's not super sweet. Um, so we're just looking at some of the other drinks people are drinking, and it kind of blows my mind because when I started this channel, uh, the the way I learned YouTube was doing beer reviews with an ex girlfriend, and we loved the Christmas ales. We would seek them out, get special ones, spend once a year we had spent big money on a couple, and then like make beer reviews. That's how I learned how to make video and do YouTube. And now um, I barely can touch those things. So even I'll pull these up here. Pudgy was posting that he was, had a Great Lakes Christmas Ale, which is one that I always loved, and Platform South Pole. God, Platform makes so many beers. They must have 15 of every kind because they have like 15 different Christmas ales. But that's what they do. That's their style. But he was saying neither are bad, but both are sweeter than I like. And I think that's what I found now. They're just too sweet for me. And then you have a sweet beer and then the spices. And it used to be something I liked, and now I could barely drink them. But did I say what's up? Yeah, I said what's up to Tony. Patrick's here. Jay Dandy. Hey, CJ. What's going on? Rick? Yeah. Rick said, party for my clients. Good showing. No, I just have a company party. So it's always just me. But last year it was a Zoom, singular Zoom. And the year before I went to Missing Mountain. And I had the bartender come and take a picture of me with a wreath in the background, sitting solo at the table. But ever since I went to Missing Mountain, called it my Christmas party because I was watching everybody else post all these like fun team building Christmas parties. I've come up with a way to do something every year. Uh, this year I had an ornament exchange and I got myself a blue Santa, which Akron is famous for. And Dylan was saying, I was wondering if there's craft beer YouTubers. Of course there are. Yeah, and that was kind of like my motivation to try and figure out or find a way to get better at video. So I needed a motivation. I'm like, oh, me and my girlfriend love seeking out craft beers, so we could do like beer reviews like I was watching on YouTube at the time. So yeah, I'm not going to know off the top of my head whatever year that was, but I can go back to my oldest video. They're all still up there. But yeah, there was a few that kind of went away, and like a lot of the early ones went away that were more popular. Now there's one British, the craft beer channel is the only one that I'm subscribed to anymore, and they do some of their own beer reviews, and when it's not pandemic times, do brewery visits, and they do a really good job, like much more professional style job than a lot of the old ones. Like my early ones and like the ones I was watching were really people sitting at a table drinking beers they bought and talking about them. So yeah. You should, Rick. I mean, it's an excuse to have a couple good beers. This year, I was just, as you could see, I put up some lights back here and put some up upstairs, and I have some little glass ornaments that I just hang in front of my camera collection. So I put those up. I listened to Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers, Once Upon a Christmas, and a little Casey Musgraves Christmas music, and that was my Christmas party. So then I did see there were a couple other drinks up in here too. Oh yeah, CJ had a derailleur from North High, which is a really good beer. I've had that before out there. It's one of the spots we ride our bikes to. A brewery that, what is, are they even a year old? Maybe, yeah, maybe 2 years. They opened during, I believe they opened during the pandemic, but they had a lot of patio heaters, so we'd ride our bikes out there in Kent and sit on the patio. Good brewery. Dylan's going for a double shot of tea. Man, and that little mug? What kind of tea are you drinking? I was drinking tea the last couple nights, chilling out. Uh, with I only had green tea here. I don't have any like really good like better tea here right now. I just have some green tea from that I always keep in case I'm like sick or not feeling well, and then I usually buy some like better like more high end tea. But when I make a tea bag like green tea, I find I could just steep it longer and like really double it up. Oh, then Large Marge has a Threes Brewing Logical Conclusion that he picked up at Asterix. That's a really good beer too. And Tony's got a Bell's Two Hearted, which is a total classic. This beer's good, but I definitely have to be careful. I had one and a half before I came on, and yeah, 11%. I actually bought two beers over at the drive-through across the street, and I bought Sierra Nevada Celebration because that's a more regular like alcohol percent. Because I'm like, I knew I couldn't just drink like three Mad Elves tonight, or I'd be completely passing out by 9:30. Oh, Dylan says I need the black Promise filter for the live stream to make those lights pop for sure. And traveling through, you love Dolly. Have you listened to the Christmas record? The woman that I used to do the beer reviews with, her family, like the LP they listened to was Once Upon a Christmas, and we dated for a long time, so that we just made that our tradition, and now I've just kept that. Lost the woman, but kept the Dolly Parton Christmas record. Now, CJ was saying North High just celebrated 1 year a couple weeks ago. That sounds right for sure. Pudgy found the Dolly and Kenny Christmas record at a thrift store for 50 cents unopened. Oh, man. A few years ago, uh, I would have bought that off you to give to her for, you know, as much as you wanted. Yeah, now I'm just playing it down here when I was decorating. I was playing it on YouTube, and upstairs I have my Amazon app, so I was playing it over my stereo. But yeah. Oh, Dylan's tea is Egyptian licorice. Huh. Is that like a black licorice flavor? But I do, same with me, since I'm like a coffee drinker and a beer drinker, I definitely do like to I put more tea in my tea, and then I definitely oversteep it to get more flavor out of it than probably most people do, I would guess. Oh, Egyptian Pudgy just named like everything that I would probably think is the grossest in the world. Well, I mean, I like Egyptian stuff, but licorice mint. I don't like mint mixed with anything. Like I could eat mints and I could chew gum, but like chocolate mint, uh, any kind of fruit with mint, yeah, I can't even imagine licorice with mint. That like totally grosses me out. Patrick said he already had an IPA and a martini, switched to Miller Lite to coast for a while. Nice. That's what you got to do. I thought this was the AA meeting. Rick said he's still hungover from last night, Monday night binge in the city after a gig. Oh, yeah. So Pudgy's saying that Egyptian licorice is different than candy licorice. Hey, what's up, obsolescence? I think you meant a niece, right, Rick, with that licorice comparison? Huh. Well, so I think I was just telling this story because I don't think it was on the stream. I think it was in person, but when me and Aaron went to France, like I really wanted to try absinthe, and I was like, you know, we went. She actually found a place called Le Fer Vert, which is the Green Fairy, and went in there and got absinthe, and they did the whole thing where they put it over the sugar cubes and the little spouts. And I was all excited, and like the bartender, like actually gave me the cheapest absinthe because I said I wanted the most absinthe. Like they had all different kinds with all extra flavors. And I'm like, well, what would you recommend for someone who's never had it who wants to try it? And he was like, oh, just the basic. That's what it tastes like. And so I took one sip, and I was like, oh, absinthe tastes like licorice. I hate licorice. It was like one of the most disappointing moments of my life. So I had no idea. But of course, I like all the old authors and all that kind of stuff. But Obsolescence said he likes the Egyptian licorice. These comments already, man. Did I feel like Trent Reznor singing "Perfect Drug"? No, I did not. The place was beautiful. It was so cool. I don't think I actually have a photo of it online. I think I mean, I do on Instagram, but see if there is one up there. Yeah, absinthe you pour over. They have like a. So Rick said he remembers an interview with a vampire, which, what the woman who wrote that actually died just a couple of days ago, right? But Anne Rice. I've never seen it or read the book, but I listen to a lot of NPR and read the New York Times, which I got made fun of by a commenter for reading the New York Times. He compared it to the Communist Manifesto. I think I brought that up last Tuesday. What a moron. Uh, do I have a picture of the green fairy place, La Ferrière? I don't think I do. Yeah, that's how you're supposed to do it. They pour it over sugar cubes, and then it goes through ice, and then it goes the ice, so you kind of make it as strong as you want. You have like an on off valve. And depending on where you're drinking or how many people you're drinking with, it has as many, spouts as there are people drinking. Mine had four, and so three were off because I was the only one who wanted to try it. Erin wasn't interested in trying it, probably because she already knew it tasted like uh, black licorice. How am I already so far off base? So, first 5 minutes. Pudgy said he just thinks of Euro Trip when he thinks of absinthe, green fairies. Man, it's been way too long since I've seen that to remember. I think maybe, I guess I didn't take a photo. I guess it would just be on my Instagram account. It looks cool. I want to show that little. I mean, I could Google that device, but the idea of showing the one that I actually took. You know, let's see. Can you search your own account on? That's why Instagram sucks compared to every other better thing. Yeah. So where was I? Where are we going from here? I'm already off track. Christmas sales, absinthe. Oh, bike picks. That's a good place to go. Yeah, that's the funny thing. Jay Danny said I could pull up Google Maps. Yeah, traveling through said it makes you hallucinate and go crazy. Like all the extra stuff about absinthe, like just most of the people who, like the authors that were associated with it or the artists that were associated with it, were probably a little off the deep end already. And then the idea that distilling wormwood made you hallucinate or go crazy has been found to be completely not true. And alcohol is just alcohol. Um, you know, I even say you can get a different buzz. I feel like you can get a different buzz off different kind of alcohols, but like the science says that's entirely not true. And same with absinthe. And so the fact that the U.S. made it illegal for so long just added to its mystique and the idea that it was some really interesting, like hallucinogenic experience, which turns out not to scientifically not to be true at all. But you look at like Edgar Allan Poe, and uh, just think of the people who are associated with it and all that kind of stuff, and it just turns out not to be true. So Farley said his local liquor store sells absinthe. Absinthe. It comes with a special spoon and glass. Yeah. Yeah, Poe. Rick was saying Poe. But oh, nice. Pudgy said he's getting a package from Ronnie. Be interested to see what you get there for sure. Definitely drop us some pictures. I also think with like all the like alcohol but for beer before liquor and all that stuff. If you drink too much, we all know what happens. Large Marge sends me a text that says abort because I'm passing out on the live stream. So, but oh yeah, I was going to show some of these bikes. I cannot find the right thing. Oh, there we go. That might work. Nope, wrong thing. Oh yeah, so obsolescence upgrading is a specialized hard rock. It's looking good. This is the one that if you watch the cyclocross video, or I think I showed some of the photos in the live stream last week, went out and rode the cyclocross race with. I know he yelled at us that he was kept bumping the shifters with his knees, but that's a pretty cool build. And then what were you saying? You just upgraded with that one. Swap the bars for some Nito 420 something, stem for the Trek 6500. Cut down a walled basket to fit between the bars. Added walled 90 front fender with 9-speed cassette in the back. Yeah, that's coming out pretty sweet. Pudgy said he heard all the weirdos from Fleetwood Mac were hopped up on absinthe and goo gels. Is that why they wrote such bad music? Oh, then Gary's bike too. Was he in here tonight? No, I don't think he was yet. He's been jumping in the Discord a lot and kind of an OG on the stream. He was saying he thinks it's time for a new chain on this one. I need to do that. I need a new chain on my Raleigh, and I'm going to swap to. Pudgy gave me an 1134 cassette. Uh, I think I pretty much. Well, I think I traded it for that and some other things for our Airbnb when we were on our way to Nutmeg. But yeah, I want to put that on, and I need to change it. I don't want to wear out my front rings, and so I want to get a new chain and Swap out that cassette. It'll be nice to have a 34 on that bike again. And this is CJ Thompson's Mozzie. Oh yeah, this bike is sweet. I think I've seen this in the shop before because I thought it was when me and Large first started our group rides. There was a guy who rode a Mozzie just like this, and I saw it in the shop, I think, and I asked Ben if that was this bike. But I'm guessing this is this one we're looking at is the one I saw in the shop. Man, it's gonna be a long night. Carbon seat post, tan brook saddle, which is my favorite. That's what I got in my truck. Oh, CJ, man, got to go DSO, drive side out on these photos. Got to be able to see what the group set is. Rick's telling me to wax the new chain. I've been watching Russ's videos about chain waxing and all that kind of stuff, but I get the benefits, but yeah, I don't know if I want to go through the effort or not. Traveling through said he spotted that hard rock, spotted a hard rock the other day somewhere pretty slick. Yeah. Oh, I also saw. I think I saw you riding that obsolescence. I was driving home from the bike shop because I left my bike there when it started to rain the other night, and had Aaron take me home. Went back to pick it up, and I was driving down Howard, and I'm almost 100% sure I saw you riding on Howard, but. Oh, DSO, yeah. I think DSO is already a thing. Hashtag DSO, yeah, yeah. You're all right, CJ. Everyone's got to learn. I think the only reason I know what DSO is because I took a photo of my bike without the chain rings out, and someone said something to me, and that's a big thing on. I don't think they actually say DSO, but they say drive side out on GCN when they're doing the bike vault. So. Yeah, DSO has to be a hashtag. We should make also one of our commands be that. Those Mozzies are sweet. I really like those bikes. Who said they really like it? Rick. Yeah, because they have the vintage aesthetic still, like a classic Mozzie does, but then like a steel bike, but then some nice modern touches. You know, SSD supple side down. Nice. Let me get back in business here. Fill up the rest of this beer. What is your what is the group set on that, CJ? It looks it it kind of looks like 9-speed Shimano to me from the, but again we're on the wrong side, so hard to say. No, I don't have it up there. I'm looking at it again. You guys aren't looking at it. Those levers look like 9-speed Shimano levers. Traveling through said he doesn't wax anything anymore. Oh, Robin, what's up, man? Robin said there's a Facebook group he's part of called "Look at My Bike Leaning Against Stuff," and they are very stingy about DSO. Yeah, it's totally a bike photo thing. Like it's because everyone wants to see what your group set is. You can't see, your chain rings and all that kind of stuff. So, man, whoever's Vastech, changing names to really trying to spam us with that, huh? SPCP, single person Christmas party. Yeah, Robin, there's a Facebook group I'm in that's leaning your bike against stuff around Cleveland, which they use all of Northeast Ohio. Same thing. Everyone's like, if someone doesn't do it, they're like hashtag DSO. Pudgy said the bike against wall hashtag BAW is popular. I've never heard of that. Yeah. Tony says one of the guys we ride with refuses to go DSO because he wants to show off his purple clampers. That's funny. Got to show the yeah, got to show the clamp Paul Clamper bling, so won't go DSO. He's just got to get an angle. If you get a good angle, you could still show the clampers through the wheel. You know. Yeah, I did not know about bike against the wall for sure. Yeah, there's definitely times where I lean my bike up against something and the scene is cool and I take the photo and then I ride off and I still post it. But if it's I think the I think the DSO rule to me is if you're specifically taking a photo of just your bike. So it's not about like your bike is in this setting, then you got to go DSO, you know. Bike Tona. Yeah. Traveling through, I was just watching your last couple of videos, and one I think I definitely commented on the first fan build. I don't know about the second, which I love watching your craftsmanship on. I think most people know who regular. I know most of the regulars who watch the stream know that traveling through rode his bike all the way across the country, and was actually jumping in the live streams while he's riding across the country. And he has a YouTube channel, so click on his name and follow it. But now he's building out like a van to do more traveling with. I love watching how you do stuff because I'm not like I fix all my own stuff like that I can here at the studio. I was just like redoing the fire escape out back, but I like watching someone who has the talent to do stuff like on a really like much nicer level. So I really get a kick out of like the van build out videos because I'm looking at how you do stuff and I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense. So getting tips from an expert, someone who really knows what they're doing, is always awesome. But I do have to say, I think you have to retire that helmet. You were doing your gear video. I just watched your this. I think with lunch today, traveling through was doing the gear he took with when he rode all the way across the country. And you're saying your helmet's 2014, and I just think it's probably nostalgic to you at this point, but you got to replace it at this point. I the paint's chipping off it. That just means that padding has got to be going. Anyways, I'm buzzed enough to tell traveling through that I think he needs to replace that helmet. Did anyone say that in the comments on the video? Matthew E. Bray says the more strict the rules, the less he abides by them. Yeah. The DSO thing is like once you realize it, you're like, oh, that makes sense. People want to see what the chain rings look like and want to see what the rear derailleur and the front derailleur are, So Rick said he found that it's relatively easy to turn the bike around, wheels. Hey, what's up, Chris Alto? How's it going? Does everything look really blue tonight? On my screen, everything looks. My screen, everything looks really blue. I'm wondering if something with the lights throws the color balance off, and I have to set it manually from now on. But my skin tones look super blue to me. Matthew says Paul Clampers are more exciting. Oh yeah, now Pudgy's gonna make fun of me because I brought up a front derailleur. Um, well, wait. So let's go back, Pudgy, because we're specifically talking about CJ's Mozzie when we brought this up, which has a 2x. So not a Devil's Drivetrain. This bike does have a front derailleur. So in my defense. Oh, Rick was saying it could be my blue shirt, but wouldn't my it's reflecting up. I was gonna say wouldn't my blue shirt throw the auto white balance to more of a yellow? But you're right, it might just be reflecting. Yep. Robin said some helmets have a specified shelf life. Yeah, I think most helmets do. Oh, you did replace it. You replaced the Giro and went on to the cask. Actually, in your video, when you pronounced it gyro, I was wondering how it is pronounced because in traveling through this video, he said his gyro helmet, and I'm like, no, that's how I'd say it in English. But since I watch bike racing, they have the Giro d'Italia, but I don't know what nationality that brand is. So I was like, wait, am I have I always pronounced it with an Italian accent, and that's not how it's pronounced? So I actually don't know, but don't call me a vampire. But so Otis made me replace a helmet that I had forever that I never crashed in, but we go out, we drink, it's been banged around, same thing. It kind of looked like traveling through his helmet. He was like, "You have to replace that." I was like, "Oh, I've never crashed in it." He was like, "That's just not how they are. If they're going to be safe, you have to replace them after a while." And we had a conversation on the Discord about helmets too. Like, if you ever wreck in one at all, like you hit your head in it they're pretty much disposable. They need to be replaced because that wherever you hit your head, that foam already gave, and it's never going to give again. Like, so the next time you hit it, your head will have way harder of an impact. Again, I mean, me and my friends didn't even used to ride with helmets when we started riding, but now as I get older and more conservative, I, you know, think about it more and I'm like, why not? If you're going to spend, $600, $1,000 on a wheel set, most of us throw money into our bikes and our winter riding gear. We should probably at least throw some money into protecting our noggin, right? Yeah. Yeah, CJ's running the 2x9, which you don't have to laugh at. I run a lot of Shimano 2x9 group sets. My Trek is 3x9. My Barry Hoban is 2x9. I used to have the 2x9 on my Raleigh before I upgraded it. But you don't like cask, Pudgy? If I'm pronouncing that right, he said, "Oh, had good luck." I read that wrong. I thought he said, "Ha, good luck." But yeah, had good luck. Yeah, I think a couple friends just picked up some casks. I really like the look of those. Rick said he throws his helmets out with his milk. Matthew E. Brace said the foam lasts 3 years max. Yeah, I didn't know that specifically. I felt like more like with my old helmets that I just end up banging them around, like you drop them on the ground and all that kind of stuff. But okay, that's good to know. Chris said he still goes riding in his old skate helmet, and I think it's fair to say that. So me and Rick was kind of joking. I was saying if you get in a wreck, he was like, "Well, if I get in a wreck, what do I ride home in? Should I carry a second helmet?" Any helmet is better than no helmet. So let's not, you know. And I know that we were just kind of joking with each other, but literally any helmet is better than no helmet. So what you were saying with your own skate helmet, and when I had Flavortown Brad on, he was still riding in his old ProTech helmet too, and that's when a lot of you guys chimed in to be like, "Hey, you should probably get a bike specific helmet, or just even a new ProTech, not your 10-year-old, skateboard helmet." And I tend to agree with that now, having looked into a little bit, and people posted a bunch of links when we were talking about it in the Discord. So yeah, and yeah, so like someone said, cool looking helmets are super expensive, which is annoying. But yeah. Hey, what's up, Desert Manus? Say, learned that today from Rivendale's email about helmet manufacturers. Oh, a helmet manufacturer Thousand. Oh yeah, I had a thousand. I have their gloves actually. Their helmets are not as goofy looking as most helmets. Yeah, I like Thousand, that brand. I found them because of their helmets, but then they make like the vintage looking leather with like the knit gloves that like the were popular in the 70s and 60s. So yeah, I bought stuff from them for sure. And Robin was saying it sucks because um, bicycle helmet standards are woefully inadequate, which is true. And that was something else that we were discussing in the Discord, that how like standards for bicycle helmets are way lower than other things. Like some people were comparing them to like hockey helmets and how much more robust those are. Oh yeah, I got you, Robin. Woefully inadequate, like on helmet standards. Yeah. Matthew said he thinks MIPS, MIPS, which is like a kind of like, right, isn't it like a system that gives some suspension to your helmet before you hit the foam, is situation specific. Yeah. Patrick said REI carries some of those thousand helmets. Oh wow, I'm surprised REI carries thousand. They seem like a pretty small brand when I first found them, but he likes to look at those, but they don't have ventilation. Oh yeah, Patrick's in the desert in Arizona, so that makes sense. My current helmet now is a Kali, Kali. It was a demo that was sent to Journey River. I liked it because it has the light integrated in the back. But I used to wear nut cases, and they didn't have enough ventilation either. That was kind of the problem with the nut cases, which are kind of like the thousands. They're like really stylish. They look really good, but not a lot of ventilation. I think both brands have added helmets to their lineups, though, that have more ventilation. But it's been a while since I've looked. I probably need to replace mine. Mine is going on a few years old, and like I said, I've never really wrecked in it, but it's definitely fallen off the table in the bar and been dropped, and it's just time to replace it for sure. It's worth it, you know. Traveling through said he's looking for another updated Giro for some off road. Yeah. And Matthew said ProTech makes new helmets that look old. Yeah. Obsolescence said the BMX helmets have EPS foam, which can take multiple hits and still be good to go. I already read on the internet, which would make sense. You would think if you're a BMX guy, because those guys, you fall down all the time if you're doing BMX stuff. So yeah, you couldn't throw out your helmet anytime your helmet touched the ground if you're a BMX rider, right? Rick, same thing. Yeah. Rick said it's kind of funny that he gets so obsessed with safety but gets wrecked on a ride or totally drunk on a ride. Yeah. I mean, me and Rick made you know, had this great, like, what, 40 miles where we were like, saw the city and being fairly cautious. Then the last 5 miles is where we would have got killed leaving the bar, right? There isn't a good sustainable recyclable helmet option. It's funny, GCN on I think their last GCN show, which is basically the only thing regular YouTube programming I watch by GCN. There's some company that made these growable helmets from like some kind of mushroom fungus, but how practical is that? Not very practical, but yeah. Oh, the EU, European Union, has better standards for helmet. Not surprising. And I know there's a big thing too with like even in the Netherlands where they don't want helmet mandates because what they found is then less people will ride bikes. I think we've talked about this before. So there's like a big deal about like not mandating helmets and helmet specific like standards because a lot of bicycle advocates are worried that that would limit the amount of people who would get on bikes if there's too much you have to do to get on your bike. But interesting dilemma. Obsolescence said, how long do styrofoam cups take to decompose? Like 60 years. So why would a helmet last just three? I think it's just, well, again, if you threw your helmet in the ground, it's not going to decompose that fast. But its ability to be a cushion is the problem, is what I think, what I would believe would be the thing. It's not about them breaking down completely, it's about them losing their ability to give on impact. But yeah. Oh, Matthew Brace, he said MIPS is about sliding across surfaces. Oh, interesting. You guys were asking traveling through about his next tour. Yeah, I was wondering. I assume you got to probably got to work through most of the winter or work for a while before you could pull off another one, right? And Robin said people shouldn't need helmets just to get around town. And like I said, I didn't used to ride one, but now it's like a seatbelt. It's a why not. He said, me and Aaron and all our friends were riding a bike trail in West Virginia, a straight, dead flat rail trail, and she caught her foot on some rebar, went over the bars, hit her head really bad, was fine because of the helmet, but dislocated her pinky. So to me, helmets are just like a why not. I don't think they should be required. Again, same thing you were saying, like, I don't want them to lead to less people riding bikes, and I think it's yeah, most of the time, if you're gonna go over your bars and smash your head, it's kind of a personal problem. But and I never lecture anyone on helmets. I know we're talking about them now, and I'm stating my opinions on this stream. But in real life, I never lecture anyone on helmet use or not. It's like a personal choice. But for me, even going down the road now, I just put it on. Like it's just became a total why not for me. So and Dylan was replying to that about Rob, and he said, in America, most cities have poor bike infrastructure. You need a helmet to get around town. Minneapolis is one of the most bikeable cities, which I haven't been to Minneapolis yet, but I'd love to go see Robin and Pixel Wolf. But yeah, here, like just to leave my place, I'm on a busy road right here, and then I have to cross a bridge over the Cuyahoga River, which has no shoulders. I used to ride it without my helmet all the time, but now it's just more comfortable to throw it on now that I overthink and I've gone down a number of times. But yeah. But again, I don't lecture anyone and I'm not going to argue with anyone who doesn't wear a helmet to get around town. Um, Pros descending the Alps, I'm glad it's compulsory for them to wear helmets now, right? Yeah. Yeah, and Matt said helmets are about other people for sure. I mean, it's about a car making a mistake, not you making a mistake. But yeah, and Chris said some of his worst wrecks have been under 10 miles per hour. Yeah, it's such a weird thing. Like the thing I talked about on the stream last week, the guy we knew who went down. It didn't look like a hard fall, but the wheels went out from under him so fast, and he really did crack his head hard, but he broke his collarbone, so you can imagine there was a head impact there. And he was probably going 6 miles an hour. But again, it's just all, it's so random that I just put it on, you know. Tony's talking about the study that said um, that drivers tend to be more careful about cyclists without helmets. They did talk about that on GCN. Same thing with bike lanes versus just shoulders. I've read all these kind of stats, but this stuff gets so into the weeds where it's like, hey, let's just make better bike infrastructure, and people who feel more comfortable in helmets wear helmets, right? Yeah. Matthew said here in New York City, he knows many people who'd be alive if they had them on. Yeah. CJ said helmet is a comfort blanket for him now. Rick, I'm not reading that comment. And Dylan said the Not Just Bikes channel. Yeah, which I've been watching a lot lately too. And going back and watching more of his stuff has been a revelation. I think that's where I probably saw the information. I might have read an article somewhere else before, but where they were talking about why they don't want to mandate helmets. But yeah, for sure. And then we were talking about traveling through when he'd go on his next tour. He said he's working now and then he's going to head out west in the summer. Nice. Yeah, USA is built for businesses and cars. Good luck with people being more careful. Yeah, I encounter angry drivers all the time. I think that's kind of what part of what led me to wear a helmet. But yeah, Rick, you wear a condom when you beat off? Let's see what else is going on the Discord. Oh, I meant to look that up. Matthew said he gets real wild. He even uses signal lights when he drives. Yeah. Thanks, Pudgy. Gotta protect everything, guys. It's a dangerous world out there. Oh, I did want to pull up. Oh, where was, where was that? When the paint starts chipping off. Pudgy, who's been a member for 11 months. Wow. Does the condom go over or under the helmet? This is not a family episode anymore. It's we got 10 minutes before we're supposed to all hell breaks loose. I'm seeing all these comments, by the way, but I'm definitely not reading them all out loud. I was trying to find something I wanted to show, and I'm totally failing. Talk amongst yourselves. Matthew was saying he does believe people have to decide for themselves about helmets. Yeah. Oh yeah, just yeah. As long as you take care of anything rubber, you can make it last a really long time. I believe. Vulcanization. Big deal here in Akron. We know all about that. Large coming through. Oh, I actually found the place in France, the Fey Vert. That's my little absinthe experience where I found out I don't like absinthe. But yeah. I think they poured it through the sugar cubes at the opening at the top, and then you could see all the spouts, so you let it get as diluted as you want. But yeah. A whole new meaning to rubber bowl. Goodyear? I don't think Goodyear uh, nah, Goodyear spun off all their other divisions as did all the Akron companies. Interesting. So if you've ever heard of General Tire, which was another Akron company, one of the big Akron rubber companies, they ended up rebranding themselves as GenCorp and becoming like a corporate headquarters. And their headquarters was this crazy pyramid looking office building, 1980s office building, over by where I grew up. And they just tore it down. And for some reason, then that led me, well, for some reason, because I'm a nerd, led me down the rabbit hole of looking up what happened to GenCorp. So GenCorp had one of their subsidiaries became Omnova, which is still up towards Cleveland somewhere, but General Tire, GenCorp, the remnants of that, moved out to Sacramento, California, and just got bought by Lockheed Martin, which is kind of interesting because Lockheed Martin also bought Goodyear Aerospace, which is where the huge Akron Air Dock is, where if you guys were on the industrial gravel ride we rode by, where they used to make the dirigibles, not the Goodyear blimps, but the actual Zeppelins, the American-made Zeppelins. But yeah, some random facts because I've got to get those in or my head will explode. Everyone needs a helmet and a banana, as Patrick said. Also been here for 11 months. Nice. Fast and light compound and durable compound. GenCorp CEO is Gen Z. Gens. Yeah. It's interesting because we have a ton of stuff named around the here still around the family that founded GenCorp. But the O'Neills, there was an O'Neill department store. I think those spread. There might have been some of the other cities that some of the Ohio people recognize. O'Neills. There's a metro park called O'Neill Woods, which was the summer retreat family farm of the founders of General Tire. But oh, I wasn't looking for that photo of um, Aaron with the absinthe. I was looking for a name. All right, got that. Nice. All right, let's do the. Yeah, pudgy. All right, let's do the break. It's 9:54, a little early, but let's thank the members because I have to take a leak. So, and maybe grab another beer. Whether I need that is obviously questionable, but hey, it's Christmas party night, right? So, we're decorated. Might as well live it up. Dylan, triple that next tee. Um, Also, I didn't add him yet because I just noticed we have another new member today. Um, Joe Ellis is not on this list yet, but thanks to Joe Ellis as well for joining the party. I just want to take a quick moment during this break to thank our channel members. Their financial support really does make it possible to do this many
Robin, we
live
need to talk
streams and
about that
produce this
photo
many
you just
videos.
posted when I get back.
So thanks a lot. If you're interested in joining, we could drop a link on the screen in the chat right now that you could check out and follow that link and join the channel and get some special perks too. Anyways, thanks to everybody else too for tuning in. I really enjoyed doing this. Check out the merch store and also drop a like on this video. Thanks, every little bit helps. We will be back in a couple minutes.
I want a tuna boat. Give me tuna boat. I want a tuna boat. Give me tuna boat.
I am cracking up about these Fango comments.
So, Pudgy said if it's a clown thing, do we all have to pile into the same bike? Otis just got a tandem, so at least two of us could go on one bike. Yeah, so what... We got to look at this. Not to ruin the insane clown posse talk that we have going on. But Robin posted this photo that we have to know about, right? So he's got the Surly pulling a crust box that's clearly a frame. What's in the box? What's in the box? Well, we see if Robin wants to spill the beans. Dylan asked, do we have pics of Otis's tandem? I don't, well, he might have sent me one, but I saw it in person today. It's actually a Schwinn Paramount, about the same year as the Paramount that I have. So I'm guessing it's like a 91, 92. So Japanese made Paramount, but oh, Pudgy, you're a real gambling man, naming two of the 4 bikes that Crust makes. Oh, traveling, that's right. Traveling through's got the school bus. He picks us up. We all go to the Juggalo. Yeah. The best thing, Pudgy, like, so his meme was a thing about what Kiss and how they're just boomer juggalos. So we should all paint our faces up like Kiss. Traveling through picks us up, and then what would be like something that would be the wrong Fago? Like we have like I don't know, like Dr. Rocket, one of those like knockoff sprites. So we all show up with sprites, knockoff Dr. Peppers. So we all show up with the wrong pop and like with our face painted like Kiss to this Juggalo Fest. That'd be amazing. Oh, Rusty's back. What's up, my man? Good to see you. Oh, Robin said the Crust Evasion is his ultimate dream bike, so he had to get one when 40 frames came up for sale. Nice. You got the Evasion. That's awesome. Hell yeah. That's the Evasion is probably my, even though the Bombora like would be more practical for what I do, the Evasion is my favorite crust for sure. Mr. Pibb, you're right, Rusty. Mr. Pibb. There was a really cheap one. It might just be local called Dr. Rocket, which was the same thing. It was a knockoff of Dr. Pepper, but not nearly as big as Mr. Pibb. Robin said it's his dream to ride Wilder Ridge Road and Usel Road in Northern California, among other things. Oh, did someone say maps? Wilder Ridge Road, California. California. All right. Let's make this a satellite image. Oh, I see there's a trailhead here. Let's see. Let's zoom way out and see what part of California we're in. Humboldt County. Okay. Jay Dandy, you guys are truly dorks. We could chat about two things at once. We could look at this map. That Wilder Ridge Road. And we could talk about Rusty moving back to Cleveland, and I agree with Marge's comment. Is Cleveland ready for Rusty? He is quite the, yeah. Robin said the Bombora is great, but the Evasion had more tire clearance. He wants to be able to ride 2 inches with fenders for confidence on the gravel roads when fully loaded. Nice, yeah. And isn't the Evasion also... The Evasion has more clearance, and it's even a lighter bike, too, isn't it? Traveling through said he just picked up some drop pogies. I still kind of believe that with my wool defeat gloves and my lobster gloves, I'm just as good as pogies. And I know yeah, I don't know. I had the flat bar ones and I liked them, but I still wore my like wool gloves under them when I needed them. So I think they're gloves that work. too. But yeah. I haven't used the drop bar ones though, so yeah, the Evasion Light, right, was the Evasion Light had the carbon fork and less mounts, didn't it? The other thing, Rusty, when we were talking about in the Discord about what clothes you need for winter, I don't know if anyone brought it up. I can't remember, but glasses. I think me or Large might have said something. Clear glasses just to be able to keep the cold wind out of your eyes. I didn't think about that the first winter I rode, and I would get places and I'd look at myself in the mirror and my eyes would be bloodshot, like had just like faced an entire blunt by myself. Uh, Now, once it gets below 40, I almost always put on some kind of glasses to keep the wind out of my eyes. But like, does this person who keeps spamming us like think that really like 24 people who are watching are gonna click on her links, like their links? Yeah, I got all the glove I need right here, right? Jay Danny was saying it's about. Let's get this focus back. Jay Danny is saying it's about finger movement, not that Poggies are better than gloves from the cold. Fair enough. Oh, CJ was saying beyond glasses, he even busts out the ski goggles. And we were talking about that for sure. Yeah, definitely a Terminator reference. Good, Pudgy. But yeah, I could imagine. So, yeah, depending on the glasses, like, definitely they not only do they protect your eyes, but they block the wind around your face. So when you have the glasses, and then even a bandana, cotton bandana will help on the face till I warm up. I never wear anything like over my face long term, even down to like 20. Once I'm warm, my skin tends to be warm enough on my face, but the eyes, you cannot protect them. And also your forehead. So, like, if the wool cap, like I wear the wool cycling caps, 45 North. So, those and the glasses kind of keep everything off my forehead. But, yeah. Rick said you can't use boggies in the Philly. No way. You can't give anyone the finger. That's how I always feel with my lobster gloves. I'll like get annoyed with someone and they're like, ah. Yeah. But the lobsters are so warm. Like mine are windproof and waterproof. And then I actually have when it's really cold. So I have like a 3 glove system. So I have like the Defeat wool gloves, which I wear into like the high 30s. And then I have a pair of, I don't know what they're made out of. They're fleece with that reflective material on the inside, whatever they call that. And so I pull those over till about 30. And then there's a point where I pull those off and would go with the lobster 45 North. No, mine aren't 45 North, whatever the lobster gloves are. Pull those over. Then when it's like down into the teens, I go wool, fleece, and the other gloves. And even that I'll start off like I'll actually get chilly fingers, but by the time I get moving they usually warm back up. But cap or helmet visor help guide the wind. Yeah. He finds himself looking down in the cold when the surface is good. Yeah, I do that too. I definitely like. There's that weird period I always talk about when I'm trying to convince people you could ride in the winter, because you leave your house and you're dressed. You have to be a little underdressed because you're going to build up heat and you don't want to get sweaty. But there's the point where the warmth from getting myself ready to go and getting my bike ready and walking out the door wears off, and I haven't built up enough heat yet. And I get that forehead starts to hurt, your mouth, like you're breathing in that cold air and all that kind of stuff. And like, you feel like you're losing all your heat. And there's like a moment out there where I'm like, I can't do this. This isn't going to work. And then before I know it, a couple more minutes pass and like the heat builds up and I'm fine. I think that's what Aaron's learning. So, yeah, snow is a problem with even clear glasses. So I made a video about our first snow ride, but that was like 34 degrees and snowing. So it was like the wettest snow possible. And that there was nothing you can do. Like I took my glasses off actually because it was just I couldn't see, and I could see where ski goggles or maybe even like I've talked about this with like bike computers and other clear stuff, like maybe even rain-xing them. But usually when we're riding in the snow, it's cold enough that the snow is bouncing off your glasses. Definitely when it's in the 20s. Like I've said this a million times. I actually I will take like 26 degrees almost over 34 degrees because I know what to do, what to dress, and how to, just how to be for that kind of snow. It's way easier than the in-between stuff. But and Jay Dandy said silk liner gloves, hands never get wet. Nice, yeah. Where was I on the... That is awesome, Robin, though, that crust, that you got that crust. I can't wait to see what it looks like when you build it up, where you go with that build. Yeah. Rusty was saying, fortunately, he'll be working from home and living close to a lot of cool stuff, so shouldn't have to ride in too much shit weather. Yeah, and same with me. Like I, live at the studio here, so I don't go out in horrible weather just to get from point A to point B. But we still try to keep the Wednesday night rides going, and I like to keep my fitness up, and I still prefer to ride outside than to ride right here on my indoor trainer. So it's one of those things where if it's in the 20s and snowing, I'm going to go ride outside instead of on the trainer. So Pudgy said a beard helps. A beard definitely helps. I never actually grew my beard this long till I worked at a ski resort making snow third shift, and that whole winter I let it grow, and like it's no joke. Even when it iced, my beard would ice over. It was like insulating on my skin, and my cheeks grow actually like hair like way up almost like through here, and I usually when I have a beard I keep that part shaved. In the winter I stop shaving that part too, so it's just more protection. Like you wouldn't think it is, but it totally is. I mean, Jay Danny was saying he probably overdresses for the cold, but as long as he has something technical against his skin, he is dry and comfortable. Yeah, and it depends on how you ride. So like on our Wednesday night rides, we stop and we get like beer and food. So to me, it is important to be like, to not be overdressed and get sweaty. So even if I am wearing wool, well, I almost always am. Like, so the base layer is what you're saying, like either whether it's technical fabric or just like merino wool, like that's definitely like what you want against your skin because it's quick drying. but you're still going to have an outer shell that is a windbreaker. And if you get damp and you just stop for like 45 minutes, I don't walking back out in the cold when you're damp, even with like really good materials, sucks. So I tend to make sure I underdress. Like that, I'm the opposite. I'm like, I'll go out and like know that there's going to be like a few minutes that are going to suck, and I think it's still better than being overdressed. Like I never wear my down jacket when I actually ride my bike. I keep it with me in case we stop and like have a beer outside and throw it on right away, but I don't leave the house warm. Like I don't leave the house like to be comfortable like when I'm hiking, or when I'm going to a photo gig where I just dress to be warm outside. I hate being cold, but when I'm riding my bike, it's a different story. I'm like, I am not going to get sweaty. Like, so just might, but everyone, that's just personal. Everyone's got to do what works for them, obviously. And everyone's cold tolerance is also different. It's like, Decline, who we've talked about, one of my favorite YouTube channels, like it's always rainy and he has to deal with like waterproof stuff. That's his main thing. But when he talks about like the cold, I'm like, that's not cold. Or watching GCN and they talk about the cold, like the cold they're talking about there in England compared to what we have going on here in Northeast Ohio are two different things. And like we've talked about, you get acclimated so differently to the weather. Like I was saying, what I'm wearing in October when it's 45 degrees is like more than I wear in February at 25 degrees, like as you get acclimated. So if your weather always stays kind of consistent, like you are, you have a different tolerance for cold than like somewhere like here where it just slowly, well, especially before global warming, like we haven't had much cold weather yet at all. But when it really creeps down, we've had like our Christmas bike rides where it's been like 17 degrees, so Pudgy said if it's super windy, nose and cheek covers are amazing. Okay. Rusty said he can't grow a decent beard. Gotcha. Grand subject. Hey, what's up, man? He was saying he likes to use a ski helmet for warm ears and ski goggles when it's cold outside. Tony was saying starting cold and getting warm sucks. Starting warm and getting cold sucks. And that's kind of my mentality. I just, and I think maybe part of that helped is I was a runner for a long time. And since I've had sciatica, I don't run anymore. But I had a while where I ran every day, no matter what. And so you walked out, when you go outside to run in the winter, you walk out the door freezing cold because you get so hot running. So that first half mile was absolutely brutal, like miserable. Like I definitely kept my hands warm and, had a hat on, but yeah, that's just running in the winter. That first little bit, just you go out and it sucks. But if you don't, like a mile, 2 miles in, I was someone who ran like typically like 6 mile runs, 5, 6 mile runs. So yeah, you had to go through 10 minutes of hell, but then the next 40 minutes were so much better if you did it. That's, you know, cycling's so different because of the wind factor. Because even if there isn't wind, you're making the wind by riding at a, depending on how snowy it is, a decent clip. So, you know, you're already adding a 12 to 15 mile an hour wind chill to whatever's going on outside, right? So, hey, what's up, Gary? We were looking at your bikes earlier. Said was hot as balls today in Channelview, Texas. I could imagine. And Rick said, "Boo hoo, Gary." Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, obsolescence less than rocket for sure. Let's chat on the side. I'll let you know about Wednesday nights. Yeah, but I thought I'd let you know it'd be cool if you joined us. Jay Dandy, I meant to hit you up too. We rode out to Bell Tower on Sunday and we were like halfway there and I had my gloves on. I'm like, man, we're going out to Kent. I should hit up Jay Dandy and see if he wants to grab a drink with us. And even if you already have your own thing going on and you can, I should at least let you know. So, because it's always fun to hang out and get a chat. But stuff like this is a good reminder. So. Rusty was saying he did an 18-mile run in a blizzard through Fairview, Rocky River. Oh, I know where you're talking, in the Metro Park. Miserable weather made it fun to run. Yeah. It's interesting, too, because I've never used any kind of, like, shoe stuff. I only ran in my running shoes, so I would wear warmer socks in the winter. But, man, running it, like, with snow on the ground before it had been plowed was, like, I would not, my mileage would, and my mileage back then, I didn't use any kind of GPS device, so I just knew what my loops were. I would time those out on Google Maps or even in my car back then. But yeah, when your feet are slipping, you just don't get nearly as far. Yeah. I've said that too about, like, I made that video about winter riding for beginners, just my perspective as someone who didn't do it forever. But if there is like if there's like a lot of snow on the ground, like when we're riding the towpath, I feel like it doubles the distance. Like if there's like a foot on the towpath that hasn't been compacted yet, like I feel like 10 miles is 20 miles. Like you're riding slower and but the effort you're putting out, even with like good studded tires and a good snow bike, like winter riding is. And then we had talked about this too last Tuesday, I think, or whatever stream I did after the last Yeti ride when it was cold, and Erin was wondering why she felt like she couldn't put out the effort she did. That wasn't even snowy; it was just the cold. The cold could really affect your respiratory and everything else. So. And Rusty was saying trail running shoes are a must for the snow. Yeah, and I'm trying to remember what I did when it would be like slushy because you were saying Gore-Tex because I know I don't like I hate wet feet. It's like I talk about it all the time. I absolutely can't stand wet feet. But I guess if I'm just going to be out for like 18 miles is different than the 6 miles I would run. But I know I've seen like the stuff that you could put over what are those Yaks tracks that people put over their shoes to run in the snow and all that. I think a lot of places, I've even when I was running, I still lived in the city, but it was like a subdivision. It was usually plowed fairly early on, so. Yeah, we're talking snow, we're talking cold. I was curious if anyone who's still listening, like I said, whenever I make the titles, I just put what's on my. It's just in case we're not having a good conversation. It's like a backup plan with the titles of the live streams. But I was wondering, I know Lenky had posted something, and a couple other people had posted in the Discord. Does anyone have like year-end goals that you're trying? Like, do you guys make mileage goals? Like, do you have a 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 miles, and you only have a few weeks left to get to it that anyone's doing? Or is anyone going to go for the Rapha Festive 500, which is Christmas Eve to New Year's Eve, doing 500 kilometers, so 320 miles, which breaks down to 40 miles a day? Any of that kind of stuff? I was saying that I was thinking that last year was the first year where you could do Rapha Festive 500 kilometers indoors and outdoors, and I ended up doing the entire thing indoors, and it was absolutely brutal to do it that way, to do 320 uh, miles on an indoor trainer over 7 days, or I think it's 8 days. So this year I was thinking it'd be a cool goal because I've been stretching myself at riding outside in conditions that I never used to ride outside in. And I don't, like I said, I ride in the cold, but like the wet and stuff like that, of doing the entire thing outdoors no matter what. And we'll see. I get a booster shot on the 20th. That should be early enough that it doesn't slow me down for that period of time starting on the 24th. But map fallback plan. And Rick was saying he has a shot at 4K. And that's what happened to me. Like I don't really make mileage goals any year because I just with having injuries and stuff, I don't really think about it. So I set 5,000 on Strava, let you put in a goal, and I just put in 5,000 because I'm like, if I ride around 5,000 miles, I know I'll be happy. But the last 2 years, I hit 6,500, and I know both those years I was like pushing at the end to get there. Like, so the first 2 years ago, we had really nice weather, and I'm like, I'm gonna go for 6,500. I'm just a couple hundred miles short. And getting into December, I just started like picking up the pace and riding all these miles, and got there. And then last year, like the Rapha Festive 500 pushed me over to like 6,600. This year, again, like I said, I didn't have a mileage goal, thinking like I know how my sciatica goes. I know what if I travel and I'm not riding bikes, all that stuff. But I'm already at I think I have my Strava profile up here, but I'm already the farthest I've ever ridden in a year. But it was not a goal. It just happened. So, yeah, where is that? Oh, there it is. So, yeah, I'm at 6,834 miles for the year, which is, yeah, already a couple hundred miles farther than I've ever ridden. So now it's like one of those things where I'm like, the nice round number of 7,000 miles sounds good. Which, if I do the Festive 500, would push me well over that. But the goal now is just like, hey, get that extra 170 miles just to hit a 7,000 mile year. Even though I don't make that plan when, January 1st hits, but why not now, Oh, Jay Dandy signed up for Funk Bottom, 200K in June. Nice. Everyone says that is absolutely tough but beautiful ride. So I'll be looking forward to seeing how you feel about that. Yeah. Traveling through city runs in his helmet. Large said he only needs 400 more miles this month to hit his PR. Only? That's still a lot of miles. Yeah. Obsolescent says he really wants to make it to Syracuse, New York before the end of the year, but pretty behind. I really liked Syracuse. I had never been there, and that's why we stopped there on our way out to Nutmeg. But yeah, it was a cool city. Yeah. Oh, Rusty said someone should do a Everest effort for the Festive 500 on Snowville Road or something in the CVNP, Cuyahoga Valley National Park. That would be, I think Everett Road would be your best bet to Everest in the Cuyahoga Valley National Park. But I think me and Lanky talked about this, and I can't remember if he had a better idea, but I think Everett Road would be the one you'd want to do. Yeah. Horns Hill would be the perfect mountain bike Everest. Large Marge says just a couple quick 2 hundos to get his. What if you don't mind saying, Large, saying large, what is the mileage that the 400 would get you to? Oh, there's a okay. Yeah, I 400 is doable. Wait, today is the what is today's date? The 14th. Yeah, so what? 17 days? What's seven? How many mileage? That's how many mileage? Oh, this computer doesn't have my calculator right on there, but I got it. 23 miles a day. Yeah. Definitely doable. 23.5 miles a day. So, if you miss a day, I remember figuring this out for the Rapha Festive 500 indoors last year and doing these brutal. I did double sessions on the trainer, so like I would ride in the morning, like eat lunch, like do work, all that stuff, and then I would like jump on some group ride in the evening to make it a little more fun. Like Alberto Bettial from EF Education First had a group ride, and that wasn't going to be till like 7 in the evening. So that day I rode like 40 miles on the trainer in the morning, then went on that group ride because I missed the day before. So for the Rapha Festa 500 saying you need 40 miles a day, I skipped a day. So that next day you needed 80 miles, or you needed to break it down and redo the math to be like, okay, so like say Ben misses a day, now it's 25 miles a day. But depending how far into the week you are, all that kind of math and annoying stuff, you know. Oh, Snowville, J Dandy. I got you. I got you. Yeah. Yeah, and that's what you're saying, Rick. How many days are weather washouts? That's what I was kind of saying there. So it just, yeah, really, yeah, you miss a day on a washout, or do you try and go out and get 10 miles to like keep that number a little low? What do you do? If I've never done it, it's 35 and raining. Do I go out and try and hammer out just 5 miles? Because I'm definitely not going to do 40 miles in that kind of weather. But yeah. Large is saying 7,600 is the most he's ridden in a year. 400 would put him just over that. Nice. Oh, you guys are going. You guys are talking about the mountain bike trails. Gotcha. I was a little confused there for a second. Yeah. Then did you guys see the spoof of the? There's a company called Bummerville that's doing a spoof thing of the Rapha Festive 500 called the Festive 420. And then I also saw I put it I think in the description, not the title. There, bikepacking.com has kind of like Swift's Camp Out. That's what in June or May. I think no June solstice over the solstice weekend. Swift, you make a video and it's a challenge, and they make a lot of gear that you could buy. Bikepacking.com has just a local overnight go camp under the stars thing, which again, like living where we do, Aaron sent that link to me and a bunch of my friends, and I'm like, nah, camping outside in this season probably not. But now the way the weather's going, it wouldn't actually be that hard to pull off. So, but I don't know. She's talking about the rest of Rafa Festa 500 as well, um, which is amazing. It's amazing that she's riding through the winter already. And even though the winter's been fairly, well, it's not winter yet till the 21st, but still fairly mild. I'm really impressed by her. Speaking of that, I brought up that video that I'm making. Me and her filmed last week. That'll be out on Thursday. So it's kind of a. I know most of you guys that are in the stream all the time have know Erin. You've met her in real life or you've seen her stream on here, but made an intro video because the channel's much bigger than the live streams, and I don't say that in some kind of cocky way, but like the live stream may get like 24 views at a time, 200 by the time all is said and done, but a typical video is more between 500 and 1,000 now. So made like a whole video about Erin becoming a cyclist, and I'm just taking my time to edit it because I'm trying to pull all this B-roll of all the stuff she's talking about. So it's just time consuming from like 5 different drives and all that. But yeah. Dylan asked, is there any protest over Rapha since they are funded by the Waltons, who are from Arkansas, with hateful legislation? So I read something different than that, Dylan. I read that it is founded by one of the sons of the Waltons, and the business is completely, the son who founded it founded a business that is completely separate from Walmart. So maybe I need to look back into it, but me and Brad, Funny Brad, were talking about the Rapha thing, and when we looked into it, it sounds like it's a completely separate business that one of the Waltons owns, who has nothing to do with the Walmart brand or the Walmart business. But let me know, because originally he brought it up and he said they were bought out by Walmart and the Waltons. And the research we did is that it's just a Walton relative who has the business, and it's not Walmart owning Rapha. I will go back and do Dylan, we should both just we should all look back into it. But I've read, and I remember being satisfied that this was not a business that is owned by Walmart, run by Walmart. It's completely separate. But, well, Pudgy, if you were born or into a family that had done a bunch of bullshit, and you weren't doing that bullshit and you founded your own business, yes, you have a leg up on everything else because you were born into money, but that doesn't make you that person, right? So yeah, I don't think that, yeah. Yeah. I must not being, I must not being, I must not, why can't I say this right? I must not be seeing some comments because I feel like I'm missing some stuff here. Yeah, like I didn't see traveling through say good night, and I didn't say. Yeah, I'm missing comments, and I have it on live chat. I wonder why I am not seeing everything. I need to go back through my filters and make sure that I'm not filtering anything out. Can't do it now while I'm streaming, but I'm missing comments for sure. Good night, Mary Ellen. Good night, traveling. I haven't seen any of you guys make comments, so sorry. If it seems like I'm ignoring anyone, I have it on live chat, not top chat, and I'm not seeing some certain stuff. Oh, it was a Walton's reference. Gotcha, Pudgy. God, yeah, slow. 11% Christmas beers will do that to you. So, yes, I am aware now, Pudgy. Yeah, so. No, you're right, Dylan. They were making jokes, yeah. Too many drinks. I get it now, Rick. I get it. And I also get that there's a delay. Hey, what's up, Ignacio from Mexico? Let us know where in Mexico you're from. I would, not that I know a ton of Mexico. I've only been to a couple places, but I would be interested. Mexico's a big place, so. Jay Dandy said, "Don't base your confusion on Rick comments." Hey, what's up, Joe G? But yeah, it's worth. I felt like I looked into the Rafa thing and I was comfortable with it, but I would definitely be willing to explore it again. And you know, Pueblo City. Pueblo being a common word that sounds familiar, but I would like to look up exactly where that is. Oh, in the maps, in case you guys were not realizing where we're going. Oh, so pretty far south, huh? Oh, Puebla. I put in Pueblo. Is that the same thing? There we go. Oh, yes. Yeah, so okay. Really far south, huh? So if you went straight over the coast, you'd be in Veracruz. All right. Cool. Yeah, glad to have you along. Oh, yeah, you're right, Dylan. I did see that. So just the founder of Rafa just stepped down like 2 weeks ago, right? So, yeah, that just happened. Yeah. Yeah, so what happens with the company now will be interesting to follow along with. I've watched interviews with the founder of Rafa, and it's like, again, I mean, good PR is good PR. Who cares? But oh, now you are Ignacio. You are speaking my language. Well, I mean, you're speaking English, but I love historic stuff. So, what is the name of the pyramid? I assume it's a Mayan pyramid that far south, right? Hotels. I don't want hotels. I want to see the pyramid. Oh, there it is. Zona Arqueológica de Chulua. Uh, butcher that. Sorry. Ah. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, so it's. Oh, here we go. That's the entrance. Oh, there's a photo of it. Oh, yeah. Oh, so it's overgrown like that, for sure. And of course, they put a Christian, the Spanish put a Christian church on top of it, huh? Rick said, do not attempt Spanish again. You guys. Actually, it's funny because, like, I shouldn't attempt Spanish for sure. But the one language, like, I can slowly pronounce usually is Spanish because that's what I took all through high school. Um, So no, I'm not a fluent Spanish speaker, or I know should I ever speak any kind of Spanish. But I did get the grammar down fairly well, or the pronunciations down fairly well. That like when I try and learn other languages, so when I'm outside of English, I end up pronouncing them in a Spanish like pronunciation. It's hard for me to erase that because that's what my second attempt to pronounce stuff is. So it's also. Oh wow, that is super cool. Oh, here's like a model of it, so where it's overgrown with the church, how gigantic it actually is. That's really cool. I say that because I'm slurring. Well, yeah, I spent, as you guys are probably well aware, lots of time reading history books and watching history shows, and I still like the stuff I follow on YouTube that's not cycling and photography is history, and it's amazing like with the Mayan like world, like how much is just overgrown, and like there is still so much out there. And when I say to discover, obviously like the locals already know about it, but there are like stuff like what we were just looking at that has been like it's there's stuff that is now jungle that like the Mayan civilization had like complete cities there, and the total Western thing now is because like we've forgotten even our own history of like going over there and conquering these lands of when they were gigantic cities and city complexes, and over the last 500,000 years, some of them have become overgrown, and parts of the Mayan civilization collapsed before pre-Columbian, so they've been becoming overgrown since before European colonization of the area. So Ignacio said it's not about pronunciation, it's about you visiting us. Yeah. Well, it used to drive me crazy. So, my parents, when I was in high school, took us to Mexico a couple times and we went to Cancun, like spring break type stuff. But, I really wanted to go see like the pyramids, that are right over there, like the Chichen Itza and all that kind of stuff. And nobody in my family wanted to spend a day away from the beach. And I'm like, we're going to be here for 5 days. Can't we? It was like a 2.5 hour bus ride. And like one year we were actually in Cancun. So this would be the mid 90s, late 90s. It was going to be the last year they actually allowed tourists to climb the Pyramid of the Sun at Chichen Itza. And I'm like, let's go. And I like couldn't convince anyone. And I was too young to have enough confidence to just be like, I should just go do this. Now it's something I would have been like, hey, I'll see you guys tonight for dinner, but I'm going to Chichen Itza to climb the pyramid. But yeah, we did go to Tulum and a couple other places, so I did get to see some historic Mayan sites in person. and I was loving it, and my brother and sister were more interested in the guy who was going to cut open the coconut and put the straw in it. And that's the way it goes, you know. I'm still lucky they took me down there. I'm still lucky I, been to Mexico and stuff like that. But yeah, so I would love to go back. But yeah, it used to drive me crazy when my dad would say, like, they would like try and like say, you know, Spanish words and like the Mexican pronunciation. I'd be like, that's not how you say it. Like, and my dad, like, I'm gonna go use the banos, and it's like, it's banos. Or what? How would they say dosakis? Like dosakis, two X's, dosakis. Whatever. But yeah. I like that, Rick. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Oren? How you doing? Hola. Oh, it's 10:51. We're definitely getting to the abort point. I've been drinking super strong Christmas beers, and now I'm now I'm now I'm pretending to now I'm pretending to know something about Spanish. Yeah, it's all downhill from here. Yeah, abort. Yeah, should drink some pulque. Yeah, is pulque the that's the hard liquor? Is that the one that's not the mouth fermented hard liquor, is it? A Mexican how a oh wait, I'll pull this. I don't have it up on the screen. A Mexican alcoholic drink made by fermenting sap from the maguey. What does pulque taste like? Central Mexico, so that's where you are now. Yeah. Color of milk, somewhat viscous consistency, has a sour yeast-like taste. Oh, agave. So maguey is just the I assume Spanish word for agave. All right, see you, Dylan. You guys. Yeah, type of agave. The Arizona guys. The Arizona guys know way better than us way up here in Ohio. Yeah. Yeah, and then I've definitely, especially when I was in, where was I? Knoxville. I was at a South America, or yeah, it was a Mexican restaurant that had tons of like really interesting single village mezcals, and that was one thing I really liked. Totally different. I mean, agave, but yeah, different style of drink, obviously. But like, I loved having all these like they were village specific mezcals, and I was thought it was totally awesome. But horchata's made from rice. Yeah, got the pyramid pulled up here. Yeah, the Mayan. I don't know. I'm totally fascinated by the Mayan world, almost more than anything else. I mean, as a lot of historians have said, like a warning for a society that became so big and powerful kind of collapsed but never disappeared. Like the people didn't disappear, but the empire did. Like, you know, not that different from Rome, right? All right. Anywho. I think it's time to sign off. Yeah, so, oh yeah, Thursday morning, I'll have the video introduction to Erin, which, like I said, anyone who's watching the live stream already knows her. But at Thursday, so Flavortown Brad is coming into town. I think Erin's going to come over, and maybe even Funny Brad. So we're going to have the live stream where I was going to have some of you guys as guests is going to be those dudes. But yeah, I'm still want to get some of you guys who haven't been on the live stream on yet, you know, Lanky, Jay Dandy, whoever's interested, whatever, like no pressure. But if you guys want to, it'd be fun. We could do it here in the studio live, or I figured out the remote thing again. We could do some remote stuff. So yeah, CJ hasn't been on yet if he's still watching. So yeah, we'll get that going. Yeah, probably after the new year now, like realistically, but something to look forward to. More members on the channel, and yeah, I think that's about it. So yeah, I'll see you guys on Thursday. Video Thursday morning, live chat Thursday night. Yeah. Ignacio, I appreciate that. Man, and I really want to get to Mexico City. I mean, the most Americans are so America-centric that we think that like the Pilgrims and like New England is the most, in Jamestown is Mexico City is the most important city in the New World, and it was for hundreds of years. And so that is a bucket list city for me for sure. But yeah, farther down south there in Mexico for sure. Moscow. All right, dudes.
Okay, bye.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
this time I'm just kidding.
Fitzwater photo.